So, dear Magnus, thank you very much for joining this very unique and incredible project. For me, it's an unbelievable opportunity to record your Clarinet Concerto in combination with Nielsen Clarinet Concerto, to have you here not only as a composer but also as a conductor. And let's talk about the backgrounds, a bit about the piece, about the clarinet.
Yeah, it has a long history. I grew up with all the conductors around because I was the pianist of the conducting class in Finland. And so I've been all these years doing conducting myself also, but on a small scale. I don't want to fill my calendar with concert weeks too much. But I think for a composer, at least for me, it's very important to keep direct contact also with music making.
You were connected already directly with the music through the piano, through piano playing actually.
Absolutely. Yeah. One part of composition is of course abstract and philosophical, etc. But I think for composing I need a piano. I need, of course, time and the computers and paper, pencil, but without an instrument I could not compose.
And so, beautiful nature around, for sure.
I'm happy to have a nice place in Finland at the sea where I can compose. I try to spend my summers up there.
That's what I thought when I practiced your Clarinet Concerto and heard your music. It's a lot of water in it, with many waves in the music.
I mean, evidently, I've spent my life in cities. Nowadays, I share my time between Finland and Portugal and the countryside and the cities. So it's a blend of many elements.
Yes, great.
The idea of waves or something moving or something with the direction, that these are elements that can easily, of course, be seen in nature and can be, the inspiration can be from there, of course.
Are there some passages in your music which are showing the crowdy, busy city?
At least in some of my works, the environment has played a role. One of the early pieces from the mid-80s, Kraft, I wrote when living in Berlin. I got to listen to music that I had never heard before, like Einstürzende Neubauten and all these metal industrial sounds produced with unusual combinations of instruments and sounds. So that definitely made a huge impression on me, and it came to my own music.
Then let's start like this. Yeah, okay.
Then we find.
You said to me in Paris when we met that I don't have to play this music like you wish, but you want an interpretation. How do you feel in this kind of situation when something happens in the music which you didn't intend?
Yeah, I would say especially with contemporary music, we so often have just people trying to fix it exactly how it is. That is not the way you play Mozart or Beethoven today.
That's it.
So I think the tradition of interpretation and the personal approach of a player is as important as is the score.
Yeah.
And the blend of these two elements together makes it a performance. Of course, the beauty of Western music notation is it's precise, but in the same time it's not precise.
Yeah. If you know the rules and if you respect them, then you can do anything you want. Also with Mozart.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so don't be too square and too careful to play everything right.
Yeah.
So do mistakes, then you can go further.
Yeah, there is freedom. There is freedom, evidently, to a certain degree. If someone changes radically things, then it's another matter. And think of musicians or orchestras today. An orchestra spends years, decades, centuries to build a sound that is their sound. They become orchestras with a certain school and a certain approach, and I think this is one of the reasons why live music is still so important.
Yeah, that's always the problem we musicians have, because the notation is so exactly that we think, okay, this is the composer wants it only this way. There's no space for any interpretation. But at the same time, in your piece, you, for example, you give us the opportunity to compose an own cadenza. Mm-hmm. So I can be very creative for my own, to take the motifs, your ideas, and to create actually an own piece. It's like two half notes. Yeah. Bum, bum, bum. And then it's, mm-hmm.
I mean, there is long history with improvised cadenzas. When Mozart, Haydn, when they played their concertos, the cadenzas were always improvised or written by the soloist at least.
Yeah.
So I thought for this piece, I put in all that I know about the clarinet in the written part. So then the cadenza is the perfect terra incognita for the soloist.
And in your music and at other places, it already sounds sometimes like an improvisation. So, but you notated it really exactly the same time. And so for me, it's a challenge to get the right balance between flexibility and preciseness.
Yeah, but that's wonderful.
It's okay? Yeah? Okay, great. Then we have this.
I knew your name, evidently, and a very good friend of mine, Kari Kriikku, for whom I wrote this concerto. I talked with him and asked whether he knows you, and he said yes, he's a wonderful player, so go for it. And I didn't hesitate at all. And seeing how your generation approaches a piece like this, that's the best reward I can have in music.
I have to admit, I was a bit nervous for our first meeting in Paris.
But that was great that we had the opportunity to go through the whole piece, actually. So.
Yeah. You were in contact with Kari Kriikku. You were talking about every single note. He was thinking through many days about one certain passage. Or it's very interesting. So this piece is pretty composed for him.
Due to the fact that we worked so close in collaboration, it affected the piece. But it's also part of the project itself, because I wanted to do a super virtuoso piece. And I wanted to do a big concerto, and I wanted to do a big clarinet concerto with big orchestra and with big sound around. In this case, we really, page per page, note per note, we worked through and optimized things and tried to find the big sound of your instrument versus the big sound of the orchestra. So it's an unusually big piece.
Yes, actually that makes a good composition to a very great composition if you exchange with the player very intensely, also with the possibilities on the instrument, and maybe go further and beyond. Okay, and 3/4/8, are you also doing in 3 or in 2 or?
I remember having written some passages, and then Kari just 2 days later suggested that 2 notes swap, so we do it in the other order, and all of a sudden the whole figure was opening up and trimming, without really changing the music, but trimming details such that you can achieve super virtuosity, very fast passages, so that they still work.
As you might know, Kari Kriikku is playing the French system, clarinet key system, and I'm playing the German system. And sometimes I thought, okay, this works really great on the French system, but on the German, I have to figure something out to invent new key combinations. But it works. And the idea came from Kari Kriikku to compose a big, loud piece, or was it also your intention? It sounds like a symphony with solo clarinet.
Yes, we spoke for many years about this project, because I have known him since the late 70s, and over those years we spoke about the possibility of one day doing a clarinet concerto. And I remember from the very early on, one of the ideas was really to make it a big piece and also a loud piece where the clarinet is with full tutti orchestra is still on top of it and is still audible. it is a symphonic concerto in the proportions.
That's very, very great also to play, to be surrounded by this cloud of sound. So thank you very much. I'm very honored to record it with you, to work on it with you. You are the source, the best source I can get, and yeah, it's very wonderful. Thank you very much.
Grateful for it. Thank you.